Joining us now from Capitol Hill, Democratic Congressman Jason Crow of Colorado. He's a vet of the Afghanistan and Iraq wars and serves on the House Intelligence and Armed Services Committee. And Congressman, this war is now getting close to the 60-day mark, which would require congressional approval. But so far, these repeated war votes aren't really moving the needle. Is it time to start doing something different, or are the repeated votes good politics?
Well, Anna, to be clear, the 60-day mark isn't what required congressional approval. There was no imminent threat, so they needed congressional approval since day one, not day 60. Right? They have never shown an imminent threat from Iran. They've actually given up trying to prove that because they know that they can't. So, we are close to 60 days into an unconstitutional war. We've spent about $100 billion. We have 13 service members who have died, over 300 who have been wounded. The Straits of Hormuz are mined. Iran has more control over the Straits and oil running through the Gulf than they did before. And we have now a more extreme, more hardline supreme leader in Iran than we had before. So this has been an unmitigated disaster by every single definition, and this administration does not yet have a plan and a strategy for how we end this.
It is causing much of the MAGA movement to start to fracture. Conservative commentator and former Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson, once a staunch supporter of the president who's been very critical of this war, is now apologizing for supporting Trump. Take a listen.
We're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional.
I can't imagine you agree with Tucker Carlson too often. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm mixed about that. Like, my immediate reaction is, sorry, too late, Tucker. How many years and how many warning signs could we have that this president was unstable, is unstable, that he is abusing our military, our national security, and he is a risk to this country, right? I prosecuted the first impeachment trial under the first Trump administration because he extorted a foreign leader and a partner using U.S. national security aid, and he tried to put me in prison a couple of months ago for simply telling our service members to follow the law and the Constitution. Like, there have been so many warning signs and things that this president has done. So, okay, on one hand, too little, too late. On the other hand, I've consistently told my colleagues it's never too late to do the right thing. So if they want to join with us to push back on this runaway presidency in this war that is jeopardizing our economy, that is jeopardizing Americans' lives, that's jeopardizing our national security, then I do actually welcome people into that coalition to push back on it.
I want to shift gears, talk about our top story. Your party was victorious in Virginia last night, redrawing the congressional maps to help Democrats in November. But your party still has a real branding challenge. As someone who has been actively trying to recruit candidates, especially in red-leaning districts, what do you think they need to say right now to win back voters who may have soured on the party?
Yeah, such a great question and point. No one election, no one thing is going to change what has been 20 years of us digging a hole in rural and working class America. It's where I'm from. It's where I grew up. It's the people that I served with and fought with in Iraq and Afghanistan. And they haven't been seen. They believe that they've been disrespected by candidates in cycles in the past. Democrats stopped even going to a lot of areas in the country. Like, we over-targeted, we stopped showing up, we stopped making our case. That's why I go on Fox News all the time, because how can we expect people to actually know what we're saying and what we're about if they don't even hear from us anymore? So we have a years-long task ahead of us to actually show up, to make a case, to start listening to people again, to explain, how we're going to make their lives better and to re-earn their trust. And again, no one election is going to change that. So this is a long-term project for me. In the meantime, I am recruiting great candidates who are independent, who have served their country and communities, that are Democrats, but they're not running just to be Democrats, they're running to be leaders. They're running to be that next generation of servant leaders that our country needs to spark a movement, not just winning one a cycle, but an actual movement that will break the fever of MAGA that has gripped this country and break the vitriol that's gripping our nation and move us forward.
Congressman Jason Crow, I appreciate the conversation. Thanks so much for taking the time.